Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Janine Show. I'm so happy to have you here. Please say hello and where you're from. It's great to be back. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. And of course, today is the day for the show. Now, don't forget, it's a very interactive show. We have so many great new topics that we're talking about. A lot of viewer requested topics in today's show. So we'll be talking about rosacea, fibromyalgia, as well as sickle cell anemia and toxic vitamin ingredients, which you know that I love to educate you on this. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about nutrient deficiency hair loss symptoms, and of course, which is the hair loss, but why we need to make sure that we're optimizing very particular nutrients. We're going to go through that list, as well as we're going into the beauty set, and we'll be talking about hooded eyes. I'm going to give you some great tips for that we can do naturally, of course, at home on our own. Hello, Kai Kate in California. Great to have you here. QC or Q Caller in St. Lucia. Great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Melly in New York. Hello. Lydia. Hello as well. Nurshi. Hello. Yes, anemia. So that's something that we've talked about in a previous show. If you did miss last week, we did talk about lupus, plantar fasciitis, as well as safe sun tips, which we'll be talking a little bit about today as well. Migraine tips we talked about. We did snoring exercises. I promised that I would check in with everybody who did their snoring exercises over the last week. Please let me know. Put a 1 in the comments if you have. Gigi, hello in the Midwest. Great to have you here. Mirka as well. And I'm glad that you love today's subjects. Yeah, it's a jam-packed show. And don't forget, it's very interactive as well. So I'm going to be calling on you today to help me with a fill in the blanks. We also have quiz questions where you can win a prize. So just keep this in mind. We're playing for the Zinc plus quercetin formula from our great sponsors, Vitatree Nutritionals. I also have a very exciting announcement, which I will be sharing with you. So super excited, so please stay tuned. And let me know where you're from. If you do have questions throughout the show, I'll try to address some of them. It's very difficult for me to get through all of the content today. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow. Of course, we have our Q&A on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. It's a little bit later in the day, 1 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. Please tune in then, and I will be able to answer your questions if I can't get to all your questions today. For Quintus, hello in Orlando. It's so great to have you here, raising my family naturally. Love that handle name. Good morning. Great to have you here. Anna Ken in Lubeck. Hello. Guten Morgen. Great to have you here. Kestagram. Hello. Vanu Doc. Hello. Nice to have you here. Cece. Thank you for the follow. Great to have you here. If you're new in here for the first time, make sure that you hit that follow button, that you are subscribed. And Hackney5, great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in today. Darlene, hello, Darlene. Philip, hello, good morning. And who else is here? Sheila from Texas. Great to have you here. And thank you for tuning in. Jazz Singer, hello. Ola Reina, hi, in Airdrie, Alberta. Thank you for tuning. I've never been there. I have not been to Alberta. That's one province I've not been to. There are a couple that I have not been to, but thanks for tuning in. I'm sure it's a beautiful day in Alberta today. Thanks for having you here. Okay, now let's start the show talking about rosacea, a very common thing that both men and women go through, and really any type of chronic inflammatory response, this is going to apply to you as well. So if you don't have rosacea per se, but maybe it's acne, these tips will apply as well. But let's get into it. Okay, what are some of the most common causes of rosacea, some of which you may have not heard about before? Okay, number 1, related to digestion. So when we look at the TCM map, this is something that I have in my latest book, and we look at the map of the face, we know that the cheek area, often where we have a rosacea outbreak and we have that redness and irritation and inflammation, is related. It's a reflex area in TCM to traditional Chinese medicine back to the stomach and digestive issues. So issues with your microbiome and maybe having some gut health issues, whether you've got the symptoms or not, can manifest themselves in rosacea and that inflammation in the skin, on the cheeks, all right? So that is really important to make that connection, because you can imagine when we get to the tips for rosacea, something that we're gonna be addressing. Okay, number 2, another common cause is a mite. Yeah, so this scary little guy could be living on your face, on your skin, which, it could be in your eyelashes as well. It's a common thing, something that I've talked about before in the show. And I know if you get the EBGBs, it sounds really disgusting, but at the same time, it's a fact of life, all right? So this could be causing some of that irritation and a lot of what I'll talk about in terms of the way that we address this naturally is to actually get rid of this guy, okay? So the Demodex mite can be on the skin. Okay, number 3, certain foods, drinks can definitely aggravate that rosacea. So maybe it's red wine. Everybody's going to be different here. Maybe it's spicy foods. It depends what your triggers are specifically. But just keeping that in mind, if you are a rosacea sufferer, that you're starting to make some connections, as you know, if you have a few sips of wine and does your face sort of really get exacerbated in terms of that redness, then yeah, maybe that's something that we should be avoiding. Okay, number 4, overheating. So the hot yoga, the hot Pilates, like overdoing it, the hot sauna, maybe as you're getting some resolve and you're treating rosacea may not be the best thing in those moments in terms of, you know, dilating those blood vessels and making the rosacea so much worse. Okay, number 5 on my list is vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So the big ones are vitamin C, vitamin D, the B vitamins, zinc deficiency, which we're going to go into more detail with, the zinc, and I'm going to talk about zinc supplementation as well. So we will get to that. Vitamin C is interesting because vitamin C helps to keep blood inside the blood vessels, helps to strengthen blood vessel walls. So often with the chronic vitamin C deficiency, this is where we can start to have some of these symptoms of rosacea exacerbated. All right, so that is really important. And number 6 is a DHA deficiency. So you've heard me talk about eating seafood and fish a lot. DHA, really important for the pliability of your cell membranes and your skin cells as well. So that can be related, again, back to that rosacea. We know that DHA is with chronic inflammation, there's usually a deficiency there. So it is a natural anti-inflammatory. So it's something that we definitely want to be aware of. Mirka is asking, can rosacea show up around the mouth and above and under the eyebrows? I would say that might be more of an eczema and a vitamin mineral deficiency. Sometimes that's related to your microbiome and having some bad guys in the gut, and that can manifest in these areas, so around the mouth and underneath the eyebrows, just from what I've seen in my practice anyways over the years. All right, so I hope that makes sense. McInnes and PEI, hello, thanks for having you here. Ola Reina, hello, hello. Our ladder, hello, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in today, Sunshine Mumsy, and 1999, thanks for tuning in today. All right, now let's continue with, of course, my tips for rosacea. So what can we do naturally? And of course, if you're new here, that's what I talk about, natural tips for a lot of different conditions, of course, that people are going through and suffering, and often things that you haven't heard before. All right, that's how we do things differently here at the Dr. Janine Show. Let's go through my tips. Okay, number 1, and then you can screenshot this. So if you're new to the show, you'll see a bit of a theme, a pattern happening. So please make sure you hit that follow button, that you subscribed, and hit that share button as well so that some of your friends can come in. I appreciate that. Thanks for all the hearts coming in as well. I can see that, which is amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And remember, we're going to be playing for a prize as well that you can win. This will be sent to you if you are a lucky winner for this week. That will be sent to you free of charge. Sassy girl, thank you for the like. Love it, love it, love it that you're here. All right. So we will be going through different lists and things that you can screenshot on your device that you're watching on, and then you can have that information for later. All right, so what do we do for rosacea? Well, we want to talk about cleaning up that gut microbiome, and often there are some bad guys in the gut. All right, so they could be, you know, the less favorable organisms, the worms, the candida. So we want to clean up that microbiome. So I'm all about doing this type of cleanse usually 4 times a year and following it up with a full body detox with herbal medicines to really support that process of detox. Getting out in the sun, really important as well. It's one of your best ways to detox is to actually build some melanin in your skin. Big detoxifier. Okay, number 2 on my list is using tea tree oil, which is great for killing that Demodex mite. Remember the mite that could be causing that inflammation and irritation on the skin? So tea tree is known to actually kill it, so that would be really effective. You can buy already made, you know, tea tree oil cleansers, like a foaming one. I have helped my kids with that. But you can also just, your own, whatever cleanser you're using, or a natural sort of goat's milk soap, which I love, you could add a drop or 2 to tea tree oil, lather that in your hands, and then use that as your cleanser on your skin, and then of course rinse it off. and it is amazing to help to clear up, I mean, not just rosacea, but for chronic acne issues as well. Amazing, amazing. All right, number 3 is, of course, dietary changes. So we're going to be avoiding the triggers, which could be the spicy foods, it could be the wine, which may be causing flushing, of course, as well. It could be dairy, it could be gluten. This is going to be different for everyone, so just finding what your triggers are and, you know, slowly eliminating them until things have cleared up. Usually you can go back to having these foods and not have the irritation, inflammation, especially once you've cleaned up that microbiome and now you don't have that reflex of what's going on with your skin here as that's related to your gut. All right, number 4 is to do some cold exposure. So yeah, so whether that is just some cool water on your face in the shower, whether that is using an ice pack, but just have a barrier. You don't want to put ice directly on the rosacea. For some people, they like that, and it can be really soothing. Everybody's different here depending on how thick their skin is, but this is going to be really a great way to sort of shrink down those blood vessels that are now dilated with the rosacea. So just cool compresses, a cool face cloth could even work and be really soothing as well. And aloe vera is very cooling, so you can do your cool compress and put some aloe vera on. That would be a great tip as well. Okay, number 5 is to optimize your vitamins and minerals. So always, if you're going to take a supplement, always make sure that they're whole food supplements. But we talked about vitamin C, so a whole food vitamin C, your B vitamins as well, B12. And maybe some vitamin D, perhaps, all right? And zinc as well, which we will be talking about in today's show, very specifically what type of zinc formula to look for and why that's so important for healthy hair, skin, and nails. All right, and number 6 is seafood, of course, for that DHA. We talked about that DHA deficiency can be related to inflammation and, of course, that rosacea. So there's a list if you want to screenshot that quickly before we move on. There we go. And today's super interactive. So we're going to be talking about something toxic that is often found in your vitamins. It's something that I want you to look for on your vitamin labels. But first, we're going to do fill in the blanks, and this is so much fun. I know that everybody loves when we do the fill in the blanks on the show. So you're going to help me today instead of just me giving you all the information. And some of these are actually a little bit tricky, but we're going to talk a bit about and have a discussion about fibromyalgia. This is a topic that I get a lot of questions about for me to cover in the show. So let's go through it together. All right, you may not get these off the bat, but I'll help you out. Okay, so fibromyalgia, and just start to write the answers one by one in the comment section. I'm gonna see who's on board here and who gets these right. Okay, so fibromyalgia is a condition that affects the what and what. All right, so what does it affect? And this, I'm not looking for the obvious here, because if you know about what I've talked about in the past in my content in terms of inflammatory processes, and Daisy Levy, thanks for sharing today's live. Amran here, thank you so much for sharing the live. Love the fact that you're here. Journey Joe, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, J Bat, you guys got it already. Iris, Dawn, okay, everybody's right on board here. This is amazing. Okay, so this is exactly what I was looking for. Tina Marie, yes. All right, so nerves. And so we've got nerves and what goes along with the nerves. Tony Jacobs, absolutely. Muscles as well, we know that. And of course the fascia, I would say, would be really important here. But I was looking for the nervous system and the brain. Yes, so the nervous system and the brain. So anybody who said that, that's exactly what I was looking for. So remember, inflammation starts up there first, it's not distal, it starts in the brain and the nervous system. And most problems do. Even obesity starts in the brain, okay? So, and this can cause a lot of, okay, what does it cause? A lot of, we've already got it, yes, okay, awesome. Yeah, Journey Joe again. Yes, of course. YouTube, yes, of course, causes a lot of pain with fibromyalgia. Okay, so fibromyalgia typically affects more blank than men. So what do we know about this? Yes, of course. Shiny hair by Angel. Yes, of course, more women. So it tends to affect more women, and I would say there's partly our hormonal stress, cortisol component to this as well. Some of the most important nutrient deficiencies found in fibromyalgia, okay, patients, and this has been found in the research, are what type of vitamin deficiencies, very common in fibromyalgia sufferers. Liz Azul has it right off the bat, okay, so vitamin D, absolutely. Okay, that's a big one for chronic inflammation. What other vitamin deficiencies would I... Oh my goodness, I see. Okay, JBAT122, you've got it. B12 is huge for B12 deficiency, as that's related to fibromyalgia. Anybody else? Yes, YouTube Centric has it. Awesome, awesome. Who else? I'm going to wait for a couple more. Amran Dahir, good job. And yeah, I like this. There's some other good answers here, not the ones that I was, have planned for the slide. But yeah, Tony Jacobs, yeah, absolutely. Magnesium. So magnesium is a huge one because we know that with fibromyalgia, there's a lot of muscle contracture, and magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant, right? So that's often the case. Sorry of my penmanship, terrible. And what's another one? I don't know if anybody put this one yet. No, we don't have this one yet. What did I talk about in the last one? A lot of people are saying zinc. That would be true because zinc helps with muscle recovery, absolutely. But I'm looking for something else. Comes from the sea. Like the sea, the swimming fishies in the sea, of course, what is it? Our omega-3s. Okay, so omegas. So DHA and EPA. Good job, everyone. Oh yeah, we did get it. Okay, that answer did come in. Good job, everyone. Okay, isn't that fun? All right, so if you want to screenshot that really quickly, we are going to move on. And we have a bunch of topics still to come. And of course, quiz questions coming up. So don't go anywhere. Thank you for all the lovely green hearts. I see that. This is amazing. T-Love, yeah, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, so we are going to be playing for the zinc plus quercetin from our great sponsors at Vita True Nutritional. So stay tuned for that because you can win that prize for free. We will announce last time's winner as well. So that's coming up as well. All right, let's talk about sickle cell anemia. So it is Sickle Cell Anemia Awareness Month. And I wanted to go through some tips because it's not something that a lot of people are aware of, especially with my first tip that this is even possible. But we know that there's definitely a vitamin D deficiency related with sickle cell disease. And that's why my first tip, of course, is sun exposure. But I'm going to share with you, because anybody who has sickle cell, they're like, oh, I can't go in the sun, it's too hot, it aggravates my symptoms. I'm going to talk about some safe tips, so that will be coming up, so please stay tuned for that. Safe tips, how you can safely get that sun exposure to really help with sickle cell, okay? So that is coming up. We know that vitamin D deficiency, definitely related, and it's that red light, and even red light therapy, but that red light from the sun, which is so anti-inflammatory and can really help with your pain. All right, number 2. Detox, a full body detox. And I've had a lot of success in my practice, over the years with sickle cell and being able to do a full body detox with patients with sickle cell to really help to alleviate that toxic load that can be in the organs for whatever reason. And just, using herbal medicines very gently to help to alleviate that toxicity can really, really help to, make sure that you're not exacerbating a crisis or not even, getting the crisis and going into that state with the sickle cell. Okay, number 3 is seafood. So seafood is, of course, high in DHA. Do you see a theme here? I've talked about it a few times. And the great thing about this is that it can maintain the flexibility in the blood cells and the blood vessels walls as well. So that becomes really important in terms of pain management and actually managing a crisis. So if you're maintaining your DHA levels, throughout the year, then again, hopefully you don't need to go through the sickle cell crisis. Okay, number 4 is supporting the joints, of course. There's a lot of inflammatory joint pain when this is happening. So supporting the joints, there are natural supplements that I love for this, like MSM, chondroitin sulfate, which ones? Boswellia. I mean, there's so many that I actually love in combination with one another that can be really, really helpful for that chronic joint pain. And number 5 is, again, vitamin deficiencies. So this is actually some research has been done here, and they looked at patients who have sickle cell, and they found that B12, so vitamin B12 and vitamin D deficiency definitely related, and a zinc deficiency as well, as it's related. And you can look this up, influence of nutrition on disease severity and health-related quality of life in adults with sickle cell disease, a prospective study. So you can check out that research that I found, which definitely we know that maintaining that mineral density, your vitamin D status, and that's why the sun exposure and doing it in the right way becomes very important for sickle cell patients. All right, so I hope that helps. Were you able to screenshot the list? I know maybe you want to share that with somebody who you know who has sickle cell. I want you to get that really quickly. And then we're going to move over there and we're going to do our first quiz question. Everybody's got it? Okay. Let's go. All right, so, and if you miss anything, or if you're just tuning now, maybe you missed the first part of the show where we talked about some of the topics like fibromyalgia, for instance, rosacea, then know that the show actually lives on social media and where you watch usually longer form videos, so you can check it out and watch the show again, or share it with your friends, of course, as well. All right, guess what time it is? It's quiz question number 1 time, and we are playing for the zinc plus quercetin, all right? So that's from our great friends, our sponsors, Vitatree Nutritionals. And is everybody ready? All right, so be ready, put your answers into the comment section. You're only gonna have 30 seconds, so let's see how well we do with this one. I think you'll get it, but well, I never know. All right, let's go. Quiz question number 1, what is the name of the mite that could be related to rosacea? You've got 30 seconds on the clock. Let's see how we do. We've got about 9 seconds left. And 3 seconds left. Okay, everybody's got their answers in. All right, yes, everybody has their answers. Okay, good, we've got good spelling here. Good, good, good. Everybody's good. All right, so let's reveal. I hope you got the answer. Yes, it was the Demodex mite. So good job, everyone who got that answer in there. Dust mites, yeah, close, but not really. Good try, Leanne. Oh, that's funny. All right, great job, everyone. Okay, I do want to announce last time's winner of the Vitatree Vitamucil, and that was last time's winner. There we go. All right, it was Mary Bunday. Is that right? Congratulations. So congratulations to you. Thank you so much for playing our little games and doing our quiz questions. And you can still win. So Mary, if you are here, please let me know. And I will be able to call you out and say hello, hello. All right, so let's continue now with sickle cell tips, all right? So if you do have sickle cell anemia, you know somebody who does, you're gonna wanna share this information with them. You can screenshot the information as we're going through my tips. And this is specifically for actually getting out into natural full spectrum light, okay? So that becomes important, even though some people are definitely in the midst of a hot day, that's gonna aggravate you. You don't necessarily need to do that, but you do need to get some natural sunlight exposure, and even red light therapy can really, really be helpful. Okay, question came up, what does DHA stand for? Got you. All right, so DHA, which we talked about earlier, was docosahexaenoic acid. If we have time, I will write it out for you in a little bit on the board. Docosahexaenoic acid. It's our omega-3 fatty acid, DHA. Okay, it's an omega-3 that usually comes from fish. It can be supplemented as well. You just have to be a little bit careful with supplementation that you're getting it in the right form. All right, does that... yes, almost. I'm just trying to hear my producer. All right, here we go. All right, let's go through my tips for sickle cell. So the first one is to increase, we know that the natural sunlight exposure is going to help to increase blood flow, and that's a good thing with sickle cell. All right, and bear with me because some people would say, no, that's not a good thing. Yeah, we do want to increase that healthy blood flow. We also know that sun exposure, when done the right way, and maybe I should say this really quickly. So first thing in the morning as the sun is rising, when there's not even any UV yet, this is a great opportune time. This is when you're getting some of that red light from the sun. And as the sun is setting, we know that the red and the infrared is very healing. This is one of the reasons why red light therapy is so amazing for so many different reasons, and it's very anti-inflammatory. So this is what I would suggest at the beginning. If you do have, and you're going through a sickle cell crisis, or it's really bad, your joints are really bad, first thing in the morning, as the sun is rising, you're going to get up, you're going to expose as much of your body as possible to that natural sunlight coming up. Even on a cloudy day, it doesn't matter. It's better if there aren't clouds, but even on a cloudy day, you can still get the benefits of that full spectrum light from the sun. As the sun is setting as well, you know how that just feels so good just to sit in that sun? The same thing, okay? Then you can slowly build up your tolerance to more sunlight exposure, and that's going to help with increasing that blood flow. Also, we know that it helps to reduce inflammation, all right? It also helps with pain reduction. So that's one of the reasons, again, why red light therapy is so popular amongst, different arthritic conditions, is that it really does help with that pain reduction. And one of the functions here is that it's actually stimulating the mitochondria to make more water, and that's very anti-inflammatory. All right, so please hit that share button, and thank you for all. Michaela, you just came in from sunbathing. Oh yeah, that is like the best thing ever. Thank you for all of the love and all the hearts coming in, and I appreciate everybody who's joined here for the first time today, and for hitting that subscribe button, and for sharing today's live. Thanks for the follow, Kevin. Great to have you here. All right, so let's continue. We also know that the sun helps to protect red blood cells from oxidative damage, which is definitely something that sunlight exposure is something that we definitely want. It also helps to dilate the blood vessels. So the next point here is that nitric oxide from natural sunlight exposure, and this is where you're going to need a little bit of UV. So as the UV is coming up, and you can check this on different apps on your phone, as that UV is coming up, just getting a bit of that exposure is going to help with your nitric oxide, helps to increase the diameter of your blood vessels so that if there are some sickle cells going through, that they have more space to do so. And that's going to lessen the inflammatory response and, of course, your pain. So that becomes really important. And of course, it helps the mitochondria, which I had mentioned before, and that's going to make your cells be able to make more energy and helps with the repair mechanisms as well. All right, so did we get the last point on there? Maybe not. No? There we go, helps your mitochondria. Okay, so you can screenshot that really quick, and that's why, doing sun safety tips in the right way, it's something that I share in my book, which I'll show you really quickly of course, for a bunch, not just sickle cell, but for a number of different health conditions. If you haven't yet seen my book or picked it up, The Lost Medicine, please check it out. I have safe sun tips in here, and how you can, even if you're afraid of the sun, something that we talked about last week, that you can start to make sure that you're getting some of that really, really important sunlight exposure. All right, now let's go over here. Something that's a little bit scary in the vitamin industry is the fact that there could be a lot of accessory things that are thrown in vitamins for whatever reason. One of them is hydrogenated cottonseed oil. All right, so I want you to check your labels very carefully, and it will say non-medicinal ingredients, and you're looking for hydrogenated cottonseed oil. If that is in your supplement, that is a telltale sign that that is just not a high quality supplement. I'm just going to say it. I'm very honest. All right. It is a refined oil, and it's high in trans fats. And we know that trans fats are not so great for your cardiovascular system. And as found in the research, we know that that those trans fats actually increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. And it has been associated with coronary artery disease, sudden death from cardiac causes, and even diabetes. And the fact that this is in your so-called natural supplement that you're taking, it's just something that I want you to be aware of. And I talk about a lot of the other fillers and flow agents in my book, things to look for in my book, The Lost Medicine. So there's a whole list there that you can, educate yourself on that. And Gigi Who, oh, thank you. You got 3 of my books for yourself and your family. Well, thank you so much for all of your support. I hope that you're enjoying the book and that you're learning something from it. I believe that a lot of people will kind of have, aha moments with reading my latest book. It's called The Lost Medicine. Christina, we'll show it to you really quickly if you can screenshot that. Oh, there we go. It's right behind me. So it's called The Lost Medicine, Rediscovering Mother Nature's Prescription. It's my third book. It's already a national bestseller. And that happened in like 2 days. It was crazy. So I'm very happy for everyone who was able to pick it up, and we still have some copies left because it's selling so quickly. So if you've not yet picked it up, then maybe it's something for yourself, a great gift for someone as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. T-Love, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here and you're enjoying the information, as well as my viewer spotlight. So I do want to say hello to Celeste S8L. Thank you so much. And this is what Celeste said. I love your videos. They are very clear and always informative for learning about health. You're such a blessing to all who come across you. Well, thank you so much, Celeste. That's so kind of you. And thank you to all of, my viewers and my followers, everyone who shares, such positive feedback on my content. I really appreciate you all. And I couldn't be here without all of you. So thank you for all of your support. Thank you for supporting my channel. It's always great to have you come back week after week. And oh yes, I have something very exciting to mention. All right. So for all of you who, love my content and you have a lot of questions on vitamins, well, something very exciting is happening. So VitaTree, of course, our sponsor of this show, is starting live shopping. And this is good, so please mark this date down. It's going to be a really exciting launch, really exciting things happening. If you can sort of guess, I won't get into it, but in terms of deals happening with VitaTree supplements, live shopping starts Thursday, October the 9th. So please make sure you're following me, you're following VitaTree. Just hit a follow, hit the subscribe button, make sure you're following and you're up on information that's coming to you. You are gonna love what's happening here, and that's all I'm gonna say, okay? My lips are sealed, but super exciting. Share this with your friends. It's gonna be like crazy things in terms of opportunities for you. If you love live shopping, for you as the, receiver of all those good things. All right, so that's going to be happening. I'm super excited about that. We'll mention it again maybe at the end of today's live. All right, so let's continue. Nutrient deficient hair loss. All right, there are certain nutrients. I'm going to go through my favorite list of 6, the top ones that I believe and have seen in my clinical practice highly correlated with hair loss. So if you're deficient in these nutrients, then you could be losing your hair. You're not sure why. You've tried the shampoos, you've tried the serums, you've tried the masks, you've done all of these things. You've cleaned up your diet maybe, and you're still losing hair. Let's talk about the big nutrient deficiencies related to this, okay? And you can screenshot this list when we're done. Number 1, big one. Iron deficiency, really common. I find mostly, I shouldn't say mostly, but more commonly maybe amongst women with menstrual cycles and that relative decrease after the cycle. Iron deficiency is a big one. And that, believe it or not, is actually related to your sun exposure as well. So if you're not getting enough natural sunlight exposure, this will affect your iron level. Maybe you're not getting enough in your diet. Maybe you have absorption issues and microbiome issues, and that's why you're not absorbing your iron. So that becomes very important to optimize your iron. Okay, number 2 for hair loss is a zinc deficiency. So this too, important mineral, has to do with healthy hair, skin, and nails. So this is another one that we want to make sure that we're optimizing our zinc levels. Now, I'm going to talk more in detail about zinc supplementation in just a second, so stay tuned for that. Okay, number 3, DHA. So remember, docosahexaenoic acid is DHA and EPA. These are omega-3 fatty acids, usually from fish and seafood. Some people do need to supplement as well with a high-quality DHA supplement, okay? So that's important. Thank you for everybody tuning in. And it's so great to have you here. Sunflower 46, does VitaTree have a Bible of vitamins and their functions? No, I don't believe they do. I'm not sure about that, but I see what you're asking. That's actually a really great question, and some of the correlations, that would be something that definitely could be worked on. So that I'll take that to the team. Good one. Thank you so much for suggesting that. It's amazing. As well as thank you for everybody who's following for the first time today. It's great to have you here. And for those of you who shared, like Carm, W11, thank you for sharing today's live. It's great to have you here. All right, so DHA and EPA, so your omega-3 deficiencies. Number 4, related to that hair loss, of course, vitamin D3. super, super common right now this time of year. If you live in a more temperate climate with the 4 seasons going into fall now, we still have the sunshines hanging on a little bit here where we live just outside of Toronto. This is important. But at the same time, when that vitamin D goes away in about a month, this is often where people suffer from hair loss. And it's just that change of the season and that vitamin D deficiency. And this is when the hair starts to shed a little bit. So this is something that you want to be aware of. Number 5, iodine. So we know the connection with the thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland has a lot to do with our metabolism, as we know, but also the thyroid is very much connected to our hair growth. And people who have low thyroid function, often they lose a lot of hair. And that can be directly related to an iodine deficiency, depending on where you live. And if you're not eating a lot of seafood and naturally getting iodine in your soil, in your food, then that could be correlated to your thyroid and the hair loss, all right? So something to consider. And number 6, a collagen decline, all right? So collagen deficiency related back, again, potentially to that hair loss. So if you actually supplement with a good quality collagen, you may see that that's like the first thing. That's what I noticed for myself was the hair growth was like incredible when I started taking a high quality collagen. So there you go. I hope you've got that list now, and let's continue on with, I think we're going over here now, yes? About zinc deficiency symptoms, all right? So I want to cover this really quickly. How do we know that we're low in zinc? So besides the hair loss, there's other things that could be happening here. So whether that is lack of energy, exhaustion, lack of concentration because of a zinc deficiency. And some people actually have this deficiency because they're not absorbing well in the gut. If you're taking a zinc supplement, often it's the wrong type. So I'm going to get to that, the best type of zinc to take. So that becomes really important. Okay, dry eyes, blurred vision, loss of taste and smell. All right, so this is something that happened, for a few people in the last few years. I'm just going to say you probably know what that could be correlated to. So loss of taste and smell, zinc deficiency. We know that zinc has a lot to do with our healthy immune system. So that could be a correlation happening here. As well as the thinning hair loss, which we talked about. If you get those little white spots on your nails, that can be, most times that's going to be a zinc deficiency. Dry and aging skin, so for healthy collagen, we need our zinc. And acne, we need that zinc as well for the skin repair. Chronic eczema could be related to a zinc deficiency, as well as decreased libido in both men and women, and an enlarged prostate. So for the guys, this is really important to optimize your zinc levels, and infertility issues for both men and women as well, related to low zinc. So if you want to screenshot that really quickly, it's something that I do talk about, and we will talk about more specifically the type of zinc if you are going to be taking a zinc as a supplement, because a lot of people do this wrong and you start to feel sick with the wrong type of zinc. So I'm going to tell you the right type of zinc in just a second. All right, guess what time it is? Okay, quiz question number 2 time. Is everybody ready? We're playing for the zinc plus quercetin from our great sponsors at Vitatree Nutritional. So make sure that you're getting your answer in. You can actually win the zinc today. All right, here we go. Blank exposure is great for sickle cell anemia if practiced safely. All right, so what did we talk about in today's show? Archie, thanks for tuning in from the Philippines. Great to have you here. We've got about 21 seconds left. All right, 10 seconds left. How are we doing here? Oh yeah, I'm so happy about this. Everybody is learning something today, which is great. Good job, good job. Okay, good. Irene, thanks for tuning in. It's okay, better late than never. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad that you were out on a walk, hopefully out in the sunshine. Amazing. Everybody's got their answers in. All right, let's reveal, of course, sun exposure is great for sickle cell if practiced safely. All right, so let's go on over here. Let's talk about zinc supplementation. So when you're looking for a high quality zinc and making sure that it's going to be properly absorbed, there are issues with a conventional zinc supplement like a gluconate or amino acid chelate they often have absorption issues, and that's often one of the reasons why you don't feel well. If you take just a conventional zinc or a zinc lozenge, they can make you feel really nauseous. So there are some of my favorite attributes in zinc supplementation. So these are the things that I look for. Okay, number one is that the zinc to copper ratio is about 12 to 1, 12 to 2. Okay, and what does that mean? That the amount of zinc to the amount of copper is in the right ratio, because if you supplement zinc without giving the complementary copper, they actually can compete for absorption, and by raising your zinc too much, you can really deplete your copper, and if you take too much copper, it can really deplete your zinc. So just about the right ratio is the 12 to 1, 12 to 2, and that's what you should be looking for, that if you are taking zinc, that it's got a little bit of copper in that formulation as well. All right, my favorite type to take that isn't going to upset your stomach and that has high absorption is zinc bisglycinate. Okay, so it's bound to glycine. Glycine, it works like a neurotransmitter. It is an amino acid. It just makes that absorption so much more superior. Isn't going to make you feel sick. Now, the other thing about zinc is that zinc needs an ionophore. It needs a channel to be able to get into the cell, because on its own, zinc has a hard time getting into the cell for its absorption. So something like quercetin is a great ionophore for zinc to actually open up that channel so the zinc has that proper absorption. So you're looking for something with quercetin. Now, of course, true to what I've talked about before in terms of fillers and flow agents. So a big one in terms of a filler is called microcrystalline cellulose. It's made from wood chips, and it's a filler. Look at it, it's a white powder. They put this into supplements just to fill up and make more capsules or tablets. Not something that you should be ingesting, in my opinion, of course, because you're paying for this and you're not getting the full benefit of, the raw materials that should be helping you, okay? So it's kind of like, in my mind, the way it's sort of diluting your vitamins and minerals. So no fillers. Microcrystalline cellulose is a big one. No desiccants, so things that dry out supplements and keep them for shelf life. Big ones are silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide, which has now been banned in Europe. Okay, and France got rid of it I think 3.5, 4 years ago now in January. And this is something that should not be in your supplements, yet here where I live in North America, it's still allowed in our supplements, okay? So just looking for silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide, and making sure it's not in your zinc supplement, as well as no flow agents. So the big one, of course, is magnesium stearate. I'll show you that one as well. Magnesium stearate they use to help to speed up production times, all right? And it's kind of like a lubricant. So what it does is it allows for the raw materials, in this case the zinc, if it's in that formula, it's gonna allow it to be more slippery on the machinery so that they can encapsulate more quickly. And it's, again, not something that I believe we should be ingesting, because that magnesium stearate has never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. And it will decrease the absorption of whatever it goes on top of, because it's a lubricant, and I've done demonstrations about that. All right, thank you for tuning in. Yes, Regina, it's probably in your toothpaste. That is very common to find some of these fillers and flow agents, like the titanium dioxide, even in a natural toothpaste. Is something that we've talked about here. So just be really aware. You've got to really start watching your all of your ingredient lists. And Tina Marie, you missed the first one. The microcrystalline cellulose, was that the one that you missed in terms of the filler? You can screenshot that really quickly. So that's the filler found in most supplements out there, okay? So just make sure you're not ingesting that in your supplements. All right, I do want to say thank you to all my super fans, everybody who watches and tunes in, whether you're here today and every day, or it's just once in a while. I thank you all. Thank you for commenting on all of my content as well. I couldn't be here without you. Thank you for all the hearts coming in. Oh my goodness. Warrior Princess 849, thank you for the hearts. This is so amazing, and I thank you, for your generosity and the roses coming in. And I know the last show I wasn't able to see someone else who had sent in a lot of donation as well, and I didn't call you out. So I thank you so much for all of your generosity throughout the shows and all my content. It's great to have you here. And okay, so let's go to the beauty set. I promised I would talk about hooded eyes and what we can do to lift those eyes naturally. We're going to talk a little bit about the musculature in our head and neck, and I hope we have the chart. Do we have the chart? Yes, of all the muscles. Okay, so the first one that we're going to work on, perfect, is called the sternocleidomastoid. It's this one. So it's the one in the neck when often if you're getting sick, and it looks like a V here, so if you kind of exaggerate your muscles, you can probably see mine here. But we have lymphatics beneath this muscle, but this muscle can be really tight. And believe it or not, this is connected to what's happening with your eyes. If your eyes are starting to droop, all this tension in the neck, the back of the neck, and of course in your frontalis muscle, which starts here just above the eyes and goes right back to that occiput at the back of your head, that becomes really important that we're releasing all of these muscles. So let's start with the first one. So you're gonna grab your SCM muscle and you're just gonna sort of pinch it and sort of grab it behind. We do this with lymphatic drainage because a lot of lymph is behind this muscle. And you just sort of pinch it and you go up and down. I hope you're all doing this at home. And you're gonna release that on both sides. And ideally you're gonna spend 20 minutes to a half an hour doing these exercises if you have the luxury of that amount of time. Hey, sometimes when I'm driving home and I just think about it, I'm at a red light, I just do a little bit. I mean, a little bit is better than nothing at all right? For those hooded eyes, you're just gonna do that release, okay? Then you're also gonna release those muscles at the back of the neck. I know a lot of people may have chronic tension here because that is going to cause more of that contraction of these muscles. We want the muscles to be more relaxed, and that's when things and the eyes actually open up and the hooding over the eyelids can really open up. Okay, so the front and the back of the neck. Then we're gonna massage the frontalis muscle. So just get in there, get in on your scalp, and often there's like some tender spots that you really wanna stay on and focus on, and just give yourself a nice, really effective head massage, which is gonna do wonders to actually brighten and open up your eyes. Because that, like I said, all of that contraction, it's causing things to be drooping down. We wanna relax so that things can open up. The next one is holding above the eyebrows. So what I like to do is kind of cup behind my head, so coming from behind, and use my fingers and just kind of lift up the eyebrow as such, and just kind of then relax your muscles in your face. So I like to close my eyes because when I close my eyes, I just become more relaxed. I think that's probably true for most people. And so you're lifting and relaxing at the same time. And now the last one is you're gonna work on these muscles just above and inside of and behind your eyebrows. So I just use my finger. You can actually go in with both fingers and just massaging. And I like to press down, but then up a little bit as well, as sort of a lifting mechanism for those hooded eyes. And if you continue to do this, it's amazing. With facial yoga, facial massage, facial exercises, using your gua sha, this is amazing because it just takes a little bit every day. It's just like working out your other muscles. It just takes a little bit every day. And it's that consistency where you're really gonna see things start to change in terms of the way that you look, which you are going to love. All right, so I hope you love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Vita is asking about supplements for long, I'm not gonna say that word. Yes, I do have a protocol. I'm just gonna have to figure out a way that we can talk about that. Everybody who's looking at Vita's comment on that subject, I have to think of a creative way that we know what we're talking about without talking about it, if you know what I mean, on social media. So maybe, yeah, I'm gonna think about that. Maybe my team can look at that comment and just remind me that it's something that we'll work on for sure, all right? We'll have a lot of like these little winks of what we're talking about. All right, guess what time it is? Quiz question number 3 time. Remember, we're playing for the zinc plus quercetin from our great sponsors at VitaTree Nutritionals. And this is a fill in the blank. I think this one's pretty simple for most of us. Let's see the question. You're gonna have 30 seconds. Hair loss can be a blank deficiency. We talked about a bunch of them. You can give me 1, 2, 5, all of them. So what could that be related to with hair loss? Let me know in the comments. Got 10 seconds left. Let's see, did anybody get multiple answers? Who are my A students here? Multiple answers. Let's see. Neelam, good job. More than one answer. I like that. Nadia, Rove, yep. I like that. 4 answers. Nadia. Anybody is going to beat Nadia? Okay, Julie has all answers in there. Oh my goodness. Kathy Stat. Yeah. I like this. These are my A type. Yeah, A students. I was going to say type A's. No. A students. Maybe you're a type A person too. I don't know. But amazing, amazing. Good job. All right. Everybody's got their answers in. I'll give you a few more seconds. Good job. Okay. I think we've got them all. Yes, with hair loss. All right, here we go. Let's reveal. So it could be iron, zinc. It could be a combination, of course, as well. DHA, so your omega-3s, EPA, D3, iodine, collagen deficiency. There are more, of course, as well. These are the ones that I find, though, clinically the highest correlation with these deficiencies with hair loss. So just, something to be aware of course. Now, remember what I said earlier. We have something very exciting that's going to be happening in just, a couple weeks? Yeah. So can we bring up this? Yes. Okay. Here we go. Live shopping. So please mark this on your calendars. An exciting launch is happening starting Thursday, October 9th. I have more details coming. So you're kind of getting the sneak peek here. The first time that this has been announced. This is going to be happening. A big sale. VitaTree, live shopping. All right. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you mark it on your calendars. You're going to want to tune in and make sure you're following because there will be announcements coming out because I have a feeling that things are going to sell out really, really quickly. And there's like deep discounts that are happening here, never seen before. All right. So just so that you know, this is going to be so exciting for all of you. And please let your friends know as well. That's why I love when you share any of my content. And of course, all of the good news that we share here at the Dr. Janine Show. Okay. So if you're just tuning in right now, we have talked about rosacea today. Maybe you tuned in late, you missed the fibromyalgia segment that we talked about. We talked about sickle cell anemia. We talked about toxic vitamin ingredients, which is kind of, there's a trend that, in most of my shows here, I like to educate you on that. Nutrient deficiency, hair loss as well, and we did those exercises for hooded eyes. Now, I want to check in again. Did anybody do the snoring exercises? I didn't see at the beginning. Did any? Put a 1 in the comments if you did the snoring exercises from last time's show. 1 in the comments, or you shared it with someone that you love. Yes, and tomorrow we will be tuning in. So I will be answering your, Raina, you did? Okay, awesome. I'm so happy. I hope it's working for you or your loved one with the snoring. Sophia as well. Awesome job, guys. Okay, I'm so excited about this. Good, good, good. If you missed last time's show, make sure you check it out. You can check out that episode. Just type in my name on social media, snoring exercises. I'm sure it will come up and you'll be able to find that. Dawn, you did the exercise as well. Sheila as well. Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, Kai Kate did as well. Love it. Adventures with Me. Thank you for the follow today. It's great to have you here. Maybe you're tuning in late and you missed the show. Remember that it lives on long form video where you watch your long form video. Okay, so please tune in again tomorrow, especially if you're new here. Everybody who watches every week, you know that we're here on Wednesdays. Okay, so for the new people here, tomorrow I'll be back. All right, so usually the Wednesday following my live show, which happens every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. So tomorrow at 1 p.m., so this is today's show, but tomorrow at 1 p.m. is going to be our Q&A. So if you've got questions based on today's show or other questions, health questions, I'll be able to address your questions tomorrow. If I wasn't able to get to your question today, then, and there's Archie has a great question coming in about nerve issues, potentially tingling sensation in the arms. I will go into that tomorrow to help to answer your questions. I do have to go now. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. It was such a great show. I appreciate all of your great support and participation throughout the show. Remember, there's lots of exciting new things that will be happening in the coming weeks. So super excited about that. And have a great day, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then. Bye.